Do it. What's up? How we doing? I almost went into a very bad song there. I think, do you know the song I'm talking about?
No, and I don't want to.
All right. Well, guys, we are here back in Ottawa, day number 3 of VNL, the first week of VNL. My name is Everett Delorme, joined as always by Mr. Rob St. Clair. This is technically not a pregame show because we have already watched one of the games, but it was early. It was 11 a.m. It was a kids' game. We had thousands of kids from a bunch of high schools and elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, I'm not really sure, from across Ottawa. It was great.
It was cool.
Good energy in here. Yeah. I wish this game went longer.
I kind of do too, and we both picked it to go more than a 3-dong, and sure enough, we were both dead wrong. The Netherlands has just 3-donged Cuba on this very floor right behind us, and I think we should start there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll start there. We'll talk about this, then we'll talk about what happened in Japan overnight. There's a little bit more to talk about, so we're going to go through them a little bit quicker now that there's 3 games per day, per location. And you, in the comments, that's exactly what I was singing. Yeah, you're right, Jay. You were absolutely on the money. Netherlands 3-donging Cuba. Namir Abdelaziz looking good. Oh yeah, looking good. The Dutch in general just looked good as a team. They played well as a team, and then on the other side of the net, as someone said in the Discord, Taboada is Namir's best setter.
Yeah, the only player that Taboada could set today was Namir, who happens to play for the other team.
Yeah.
This actually was close. I mean, the first set 28-26, then 25-23. Then the third set was not close at all. But
the first set was like banging.
It was really good.
Like it went into extra points. There was big blocks with changes of leads multiple times in that first set. The kids were getting into it. They were picking sides, cheering for Cuba. We saw Dutch signs and Dutch flags in the crowd too, so they knew what they were coming for.
They did, and it was cool for like the kids to see just a totally random couple teams and just like randomly pick one they were going to decide to root for, and then just go nuts for them the entire match. I thought Bianca did a good job hyping them up too.
Oh, as always, yeah.
It was a fun atmosphere. But I mean, I'm looking at the play-by-play. Cuba led 20-18 in the second, then promptly gave up, I think, a 4-0 run.
Yeah,
22-20. Can't do that. Just can't do it. First set was really similar. They were up late. Oh, there's that buzzer behind us. That certainly was a storyline. I think we should talk about it. Okay, the Dutch were up 20-17, 19-16.
This is in the third?
This is the first.
Oh, this is the first.
This is the first, because the third wasn't nearly as competitive.
No, the third wasn't at all.
But Cuba had chances in both the first and the second.
100%.
And kind of gave them away. Now, I do feel bad for them because in the second set, Jesus Herrera put in a really good serve. The Netherlands were totally out of system on set point 24-23, and then a random buzzer went off, and everybody kind of stopped for no reason. Yeah. And they called a replay. And then Herrera missed his next serve. And I thought that Cuba got screwed by that. That was not their fault.
I mean, they also did lose that point on that play.
Oh, that's because in the middle of the play, a buzzer went off and everyone just stopped.
Yeah,
not their fault.
Not their fault, but still.
2 things that need to be figured out. This is day 3. We need to start operating this like a professional sporting event. Challenges are taking way too long. Way too long. And these random buzzers that are going on in the middle of plays have got to stop. It's day 3. My leash for these people is at its end. It's the third day of competition. Figure it out.
I'm sure they're going to watch this and take your criticism to note.
I don't care. I don't care who watches this. But the people who are watching this should agree with me. The challenges take way too long.
They take long, and we don't get to see it until the end. I mean, there was that mess of a challenge at the end of this game where the challenge was calling a touch off the block,
which clearly was not a touch,
and it clearly wasn't a touch, and then the head referee just ended up like calling it on his own and ended up seeing. But I mean, this is volleyball we're talking about here. These type of things happen on the regular.
So let's look at some numbers. The Netherlands really bad from the service line. 1 ace, 18 errors. And if they had been better in that area, this would have been an hour in a shower. But they just did not do a job serving cleanly. Namir 0 aces, 7 errors. Plock 0 aces, 5 errors. Like just not good enough in that area. Now the Cuba didn't pass very well. 14% perfect only, but that's Cuba. Which, for that reason, keep the ball in play with the exception of 1 or 2 green light guys, and you're going to win this match much more easily. But Cuba offensively, bad across the board.
Yeah, 21% efficiency.
Bad.
Is not good enough, especially against a team like the Dutch. Like the Dutch are going to be steady, and the Dutch have a guy who can score 20 plus points a game, which is he did. He scored 22 points in 3 sets here. So I mean, Cuba has a lot to figure out on their side. I think they are in a very dangerous position. Early on, they have 2 losses to 2 challenger teams. So that puts them in a really bad spot, and they're going to have to make up some wins later on. Now they're like, I didn't expect them to be on the relegation bubble, but they are.
I think they're the only winless challenger team right now.
They are.
Like Canada beat Cuba head-to-head. Slovenia's got a 3-point win. The Netherlands just beat them head-to-head. Even China has a win. Bulgaria now has a win overnight, which we'll talk about. Like, not a good start for Cuba. And you and I were talking, Everett. I mean, with as bad as Tabawada was, and he was dreadful, they did put in the new setter, Christian Thorndike, halfway through the 3rd set.
He looked good. He was running the middle really well. His connection with Massa was really, really good. There was a few sets to the outside that we saw that Yant sprayed out the back. I mean, Yant came in, got 3 sets, 1 error on it, but was pretty bad in general. Not that great in general. Sorry, only got 1 set, and he missed that one. But if I was Cuba, I would just run with that set.
100%.
You've got a Tabawada who has slow hands, and he reminds me of a 17-year-old. You have Goide, who has the same build as me right now. And if you're in the Discord, you know how the Discord feels about my physical appearance. I would put in Thorndike. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, I like the way the ball came out of his hands. I like the connection with the middle. A couple balls, like you said, you got a couple good phone videos of some of those balls to the middle. Like they found gaps in that 31 zone that ended up being just bounced. And even a couple balls to the outside were the correct tempo and the correct height. And I mean, he can't be worse. He can't be worse than Tabawada. He's not going to give them a worse chance to win, obviously.
No.
I think Cuba's got to roll with him the rest of the week, maybe even the rest of the tournament.
Go with the kid. Kid. Also, can someone please do a quality of life check on Rami Cuban Spike at the moment? Because it was interesting to see that, we were watching just down there. Game ended. And by the time we had gotten back to our spot where all of our stuff is, Cuba was already going to the dressing room. There was no cool down, no whatever. They are dejected.
Vibes
right
are
now.
not good.
Vibes are not 100
not good.
over on the Cuba side of things. So that's something to watch. But vibes are pretty high for the Dutch right now. I got to talk to Piazza.
Yes,
everyone's going to get to see that.
That was lovely.
A nice little chat. I might like the guy.
I like him too.
I might like the guy after chatting with him.
He's got an extremely strong personality, and that just makes him fun. Like, if nothing else, he is a character. He's sometimes a character with face paint and a bright red nose, but a character nonetheless.
Yeah, so that was fun. That will come out. You got to talk to Namir.
I did.
I talked to Piazza. It was good overall. One thing I was looking at that stats for the Dutch. Benny Tweenstra got like 5 sets in 3 sets. Like he got dished the ball 5 times as an outside.
Only played like a set and a half.
No, he played all 3.
No, he didn't. He came in off the bench in set 2.
Oh wait, no, those are points. Never mind. You're right.
But when he did come in, he looked better. And yesterday against the U.S., he was not good. He came in today, looked better.
But even then, he came in for Jorna, and Jorna had 4 sets. So the P2 over there for the Dutch is getting 9 sets in total combined.
And then Van Garderen going 11 for 18, 56% efficiency, more like that. That's Sienna run that we saw this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the Netherlands were better than Cuba today. I think both teams still have a lot of work to do, but that's got to feel good if you're Piazza to beat a fellow challenger team and get 3 points out of it. I think
he seemed relieved.
That's the word.
Absolutely. He just seemed relieved, and I think it's both a bit of relief that his team played much better than they did yesterday. Although in talking to him, it's I think it's always good to get slapped around a little bit in your first game.
Especially if you get a legitimate contender like the U.S. out of the way early.
100%. Like you can just kind of run up against a wall, see if it moves or not, and then you regroup for the next day. And he seemed relieved, but I also think there's a bit of relief there knowing that Cuba didn't play well. Because Cuba on any given day can pull out world-class performance and beat anyone.
They can also lay an absolute egg,
100%.
which they did just now. So the Dutch caught them on a good day, good for them. And I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to what happened overnight in Japan. We got to watch this first match, which is a surprise to both of us. A 3-donger for Bulgaria over Slovenia.
I mean, we both picked a 3-dong in the opposite direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the way that Slovenia really took it to Serbia the night before, and Bulgaria laid the egg against China. But man, Bulgaria looked pretty good in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the only place we can start is Alex Nikolov,
Yeah.
16 for 24, 58% efficiency.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, his passing is horrible.
Bad.
32% positive, only 11% perfect, and they're targeting him a lot. But overall, like he is so offensively dynamic. He has such a good arm, such a nice swing, and then also I really liked watching Alex Grozdanov.
Yep.
He was really solid for them. 4 blocks, 4 touches, good numbers there for Grozdanov, getting more than half the blocks for the Bulgarians.
Grozdanov is good. I mean, when we were talking last night while watching him, like we kind of underrated Grozdanov when we did that VNL draft. As far as middles go, he actually is really, really good.
Yeah, we both said that if there was a third person in the draft and it would have had to make the teams like a little bit deeper,
Grozdanov would have gotten picked.
Grozdanov would have been picked, and I bet you he would have been picked early too.
Because he's clearly the second best Bulgarian player. But Bulgaria looked good, but my big takeaway from this on the Slovenian side is the significance of the drop off for them after their core group of 9 players.
Yeah.
It's that 9 players that we've seen, qualify for all the Eurovolleys. Well, really it was 8, and then in comes the Rock. But no Vincic, no Stern this week. So really, Slovenia has 7 players.
Yeah.
And they didn't start Clement Chabel. They started this Matej Kok character on the right side, and he was bad. 5 for 15, 0% efficiency. Mozic wasn't good either. 5 for 15, 7% efficiency.
Yeah.
They tried to bring in Chabel at outside to rescue the situation and couldn't. So, I mean, it's a rough spot for Slovenia to have to play all of their starters all the time to have a chance to beat Bulgaria. That's just not a good situation.
It's not a good situation, and it also makes the challenger situation so much more interesting because these are 2 more challenger teams going toe-to-toe.
That's right.
And so Cuba's the only challenger team without a win so far because Canada's got to win, Bulgaria's got to win, China's got to win, and Slovenia's got to win.
And
so,
the Netherlands just got to win. So, yeah.
The Netherlands, I think they're a core team.
No.
They're
challenger.
They're a challenger team, so.
Germany is core.
Oh, yeah. We just talked about them being but, yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, this was kind of a must-win for Bulgaria, and they pulled it off. I mean, it was overtime in the first 2 sets, 26-24, 25-23, and then just a slapping in the third. And we watched the whole thing. We got back after the post-game show last night, turned it on, and we're like, wait a minute, Bulgaria just won the first set? Like, what's going on here? And then they kind of kept it going. Yeah,
it kind of got out of hand too, where we were just like having some beers, hanging out, and then next thing you know, like Bulgaria's up by like 6, like
in
20.
The third set.
Yeah,
what happened?
Like 23-17. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I think this might have been I mean, obviously hindsight's 20/20, but I think this is a bad strategic choice for Slovenia. If there's a match where you're gonna rest a couple of the starters, I think you should rest them against the really, really good teams, instead of resting them against the bad teams like Bulgaria and hoping that you can still win. I think every chance you have to get 3 points as you're a challenger team, you need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think against Bulgaria, you play the starters. And then, like, who does Slovenia have next, I wonder? They have France. Like, France, you're not going to – even the French B team, you might not beat them. Like Now they kind of have to win that game. So like
they definitely have to.
They've got the
definitely have
French
to win
B
that
team
game.
and then Iran. Like if you're gonna pick a game to rest the guys, I would have honestly done it against France, not Bulgaria. You have to get 3 points against Bulgaria.
Yeah, especially another challenger team. But I also think that like with France with the B team, there's a chance to get a leg up on some teams there. Real quick, guys, a lot of people asking where Rado is. No Rado for week 1. Is he? Nope. He's on the extended roster,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure if we'll see him. He was here last year in Ottawa, and he was just
painfully average, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think we're really seeing how there's a lot of these guys who are really, really good in the NCAA. And I think for some reason, the NCAA gets a little bit more hype than U Sports, and these guys go straight to the top leagues and then just kind of flutter out. Like we're seeing it with Garcia, we're seeing with Rado, we're seeing with Davide Gardini.
Well, Davide Gardini was never good. He's always been a huge passing liability, but like I could have told you years ago that Rado wasn't going to be all that good of a pro. Garcia is going to be a good pro. I mean, he was he sat behind Zaitsev this year. I don't think that's a shameful position at all. I mean, DeFalco went pro and has been unbelievable.
True.
Let's see, who are the other recent national players of the year? Tuaninga was actually a national player of the year.
Fair.
Him and DeFalco traded off there. Then I think Rado, then COVID, then
Like the best ones I'm thinking of are like Ma'a, DeFalco, Tuaniga, and now Nikolov.
And Nikolov's been brilliant.
He has been brilliant.
I mean, it's not like the really good NCAA players haven't had an impact somewhere. But back to Slovenia and Bulgaria, we can wrap it up by, I think, saying this makes the relegation race extremely, extremely interesting.
So much fun. And it makes me a little bit nervous. Obviously, just being Canadian, and we're on that bubble. But there's no. When I look at all the relegation teams, there's no clear favorite for me anymore to see who's going to get relegated.
Not anymore.
No.
So, I mean, Cuba the rest of this week, they've got Italy and then Brazil. And, I mean, maybe they beat Italy if they are hot that day, but they're not beating Brazil.
No.
It might be a rough week for Cuba.
All right, let's move on now to the one that I got completely wrong yesterday. I was calling it for 3-2 for China. Serbia got the 3-donger.
It was 34-32 in the first set.
It was. Serbia looked like they they served really well. 8 aces, only 6 errors. Half of those aces coming from Miran Kujundžić. He had a really good game.
8-6. Yeah. That's amazing.
And Kujundžić had four aces alone and only 1 error. So you know that he was putting on that pressure.
We did see Kujundžić here in Ottawa last year.
We were impressed,
including from the service line. He was really good serving last year. I mean, this shouldn't have been surprising. I picked this for a reason. I was very confident in this pick. Serbia is better than China. I mean, there's not really even that much to look into the numbers. I mean, Ljuburic was fine, 16 for 29, 38% efficiency. All right, fine, great. Katic started outside again, which I disagree with, and sure enough, negative efficiency for him, but he's in there to pass balls. Nedeljkovic in the middle was good, 8 for 12, 3 blocks, very nice.
Kujundžić also got 2 blocks, so he was doing it everywhere, serving, blocking, hitting. He was 2 for 20 as well.
China, 1 ace, 11 errors. They're not a good serving team. They're not a good passing team. They were bad on offense, 9 unforced errors. Let's see, how was Zhang? That's the first place you always got to look. Yeah, 14 for 27, 30% efficiency. Fine, but he's going to have to be better than that if they're going to win games. Zhang Xuan, their opposite, 13 for 30, 17% efficiency. Definitely not good enough, and that's kind of the story right there.
And once again, teams are going after Yuntai Yu or Yu Yuntai. I forget.
Yeah,
which
it's Yuan Tai. 23% perfect, 29% positive passing. Not good enough as the L2 character.
Yeah, but better than Zhang. Why aren't they going after Zhang there? He's 11%.
Because pick your poison. China's not a good reception team. China is going to lose the serve and pass battle against every team in this tournament. And the fact that they somehow beat Bulgaria is kind of a miracle. But I picked them to get relegated for a reason. They do have 2 very good attackers, but when you just cannot score break points, it's not going to matter.
Watching how they can't serve really well too gives me a lot of comfort when it comes to China versus Canada for that last match of VNL.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, last year you played them at the World Championship. Canada was bad, and you still beat them 3-0.
Exactly. So whoever our Chinese friend is in the chat who keeps on chirping, I would quiet down a little bit. I would quiet down a little bit. I even gave you the benefit of the doubt. I even gave you the benefit of the doubt and picked you guys to win. You couldn't even do that.
Ouch. There's not that much more to talk about Serbia beating China. This is one of the most expected results of all VNL, unless apparently you're Everett. I think we should move on to a classic rivalry game that somehow always produces 5-setters, no matter who's on which roster. Poland 3-2 Iran. I would like to go watch the highlights of this one to see if it got spicy, because sometimes it does. Oh my God, it was a reverse sweep. I didn't even know this. Iran 25, 23, 25,
we woke up
23.
we woke up and went today. But man, if you look at these Polish points, they spread that offense like butter. 2 guys had 16, 2 guys had 15. Semeniuk had 16. He had a much better day today. 15 for 24. No unforced errors. Got blocked twice.
Like it.
50% efficiency. That's the Kamil Semeniuk we have come to know and love.
That's more like it.
That's the Kamil Semeniuk we want, but Shalpuk was also good.
Off the bench.
Coming off the bench. He helped turn things around. Davide Dulski. David Duzki.
Yeah, he was the backup opposite on Zavierce this year, who I wanted to see a lot more play over Konarski because I think he's a waste of space. And Butryn had a rare bad game, negative efficiency through a set and a half. So Dulski's like a big, long, physical kid. And
it's funny that you say that Konarski's a waste of space. And yesterday, Leo was saying that he's like set records for like Zaxa and stuff like that.
Never liked Konarski.
They went with Lomac in this game though instead of Firle.
Yeah, I think this was a roster management approach, and they really had to put in some guys off the bench after going down 2-0 to rescue it, and somehow Poland did. Bieniek was unbelievable, though, 13 for 18, 67%, plus 2 blocks. Just about what we expect from him. But let's take a look at Iran's numbers. I mean, they had to have been better than the Japan game where they just stunk it up for 3 sets. 3 aces, 20 errors is not good. 34% efficiency on offense is okay.
I mean, 15 for 33, but only 30% efficiency is all right.
Manavi at outside 11 for 25 is okay.
Who's Poria?
Yeah, this Poria character, number 19. I saw him briefly in the highlights against Japan, but I'm really not familiar with him. 12 for 25, 32%. Fine. Yeah, we got to go back and watch a little bit more of this match to digest what happened here.
It does look like what you said, where there was kind of like let's just play a bit of our depth, and it didn't go. Butryn sort of looks like he started this match and got yanked.
Yeah.
Yanked pretty quickly. He was 2 for 10 on the match with -10 efficiency. So, I mean, he can't be fantastic every day.
No, it happens. So this is a guy in Gerbic that I do think is good at playing the roster management game.
Yeah.
I think that he's committed to sending B teams week 1. He's committed to kind of, even when he has a B team, he kind of platoons them, but is willing to make some significant changes when they need to be made. And sure enough, Poland rescued this one from the brink of a little bit of disaster.
Yeah, Karol Klos, though, on my all 2010s team, you'll have to
7 for 7.
7 for 7 in 2 blocks.
What a beast.
Yeah, that dude's still going.
He's awesome.
Still going. All tournament team back at the World Championships in 2014.
Every time I think he's going to retire, he's just like he's just kind of like the captain of the B team, and he's just a legend. I love watching him.
I mean, I guess we'll watch to see if he's a part of that A team too. I don't think much else to say for this one. I definitely need to sit down, especially in week 2. I really want to sit down and watch Iran play.
Me too. Yeah. I don't know that much about him yet.
Yeah, not enough. Like obviously these Polish guys we know, but like we don't really need to know much about them overall, just because they're going to be coming through. Also, Bieniek, look at that, 13 for 18.
I did say that.
Oh, you did? Okay, I missed that. It's 1:30. It's early.
Enough said. I think that's the 3 matches in Japan, 2 3-dongs, and then a 5-setter where Poland had to figure it out. Coming up later today here in Ottawa, we got 2 matches to preview. We've got Italy, their very young B team, against my United States at 4:30 local, and then a spicy one. Everybody's favorite South American rivalry, Argentina versus Brazil, which I think could be among the best Argentina-Brazil games we've seen since the Olympic bronze medal match.
I think so, too. I honestly think so, too. This young Argentinian squad with the injection of like DeCecco is a lot of fun. I mean, we got to talk to Polonsky and Vincentin the other day, and they just seem like dope dudes. And, I mean, as we saw last night and as we said last night, Brazil looks like Brazil.
They do.
Brazil looks like Brazil. So I'm expecting a fiery matchup between these two teams in this match later on tonight.
And then as far as Italy versus the U.S., like I was saying yesterday after our win, I think that we could see for the U.S. Basically all the guys start today that didn't start yesterday. You could see Ma'a. I think you'll definitely see Ensing start. Anderson will dress at libero again. Probably Averill and Holt in the middle. Definitely Shoji at libero. Outsides is a bit of a question mark. I'm not sure who we're going to see, but any way you slice it, I really like the U.S. against this particular Italian team.
Yeah, especially the way we've seen both of these two teams play early on.
Yeah.
Within their one match so far, I think you'd be crazy not to take the U.S. unless you have some insight into John Spraw's head.
No.
But even then, you throw out a complete B team, and you're still looking good.
I agree.
Right?
I think this is a 3-0.
Yeah, 100%.
I think this is a 3-dong for the U.S. Maybe 3-1 if we get a little too aggressive in putting in the bench. But I think that this is a 3-point win for the U.S. But then tonight's game, Argentina-Brazil is...
It's just a toss-up.
I think it's a toss-up.
I honestly think it's a toss-up.
I kind of want 5.
I want it to go 5-2. And I want some pointing through the net.
Me too.
I want some.
Me too. That would be fun. I'll take Brazil in 5.
I'm gonna go Argentina in 5.
Nice. I like that.
I think their exuberance is gonna do.
Yeah, I really like Argentina. I think I'm slowly turning into an Argentina fan this summer and last summer. But I think I do think this will get to 5. I think Brazil might survive once they get there. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't know if Brazil's blocking and defense. I guess you do have Flavio. Like you have Flavio in there, and Otavio is pretty
good.
Otavio's pretty good.
Otavio's
as good as well.
Seriously.
So, well, we'll have to see, but I'm expecting DeCecco to get up for this one.
Yeah, not hard to get up for that particular rivalry.
Absolutely, it's like Canada versus the U.S. It's that that zonal rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still over the past 10 years, like our records against each other is pretty much even.
It's pretty balanced. I'm annoyed with the number of times we've lost to Canada in the last decade.
I mean, you should get used to it.
Not going to happen on Saturday though.
Should
we let the people know our bet in advance?
Yeah. Well, real quick though, just one thing from the chat here. Should read this. Poria,
the Iranian guy,
only 19.
Oh wow.
So
no wonder we don't know about him.
Yeah, no wonder we know.
Maybe he'll actually be our breakout player because both of Everett and I's breakout player picks from the preview
video. Who
did
you pick again?
I picked Salehi from Iran, and he's not on the week 1 roster. You picked Lawani from France, and his foot is hurt. He's not playing all VNL.
Yeah, exactly.
So we look like fools on that one. So maybe I can pivot to a different Iranian outside if the kid continues to play well. I don't know. I mean, these games in Japan overnight, it's been impossible for us to really get a good download of how the teams are actually playing.
100%. Like just watching those, we just don't have enough time.
No, we don't.
We don't have enough time. We got to be here in person.
That's what we're here for.
Hyping the crowd up.
So, a good preview for Saturday night. As you'll remember, last year's VNL, when my United States mercilessly 3-donged Canada, Everett then had to open the next episode of the 9x9 by singing the Star Spangled Banner, my national anthem, and he delivered an outstanding performance.
Actually, I've been told that the USAV is actually going to hire me for Anaheim and Arlington to come down and sing the national anthem.
Boy, I would pay to see that. But what we're going to do this time is, because we're both here and we're both watching our teams play in person, the loser of between Everett and I, whichever one of our teams loses, will have to wear the winning team's gear during the post-game interviews and the post-game show. And because the USA is the favorite, if the United States loses, I will wear a Canada shirt and I will put Canada temporary tattoos on my arms and face to interview the United States after potentially we lose to you. I don't think it's going to happen, but
no, you do it. You would have to do it the next day.
Oh no, we can get the tattoos and put them on immediately. They're like the easy ones that you apply with water.
Oh, you want to do it that day? Day of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we got to do it the day of.
Okay.
So I have an extra USA shirt that Everett will wear to interview Team Canada after they lose to the US. But if somehow a miracle happens and Canada wins,
I'm going to need to find a Volleyball Canada shirt.
I will wear a Volleyball Canada shirt and I will put on
I'm sure we can find
Canadian temporary tattoos on my arms and face to interview the United States. That is what I will do if my team loses.
Okay. I like that. I accept that. Yeah, you're gonna still interview them if they lose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna interview them every match, no matter what, as you should with Canada. And it's like you did last year. They went 1-3. You still got interviewed them every game.
Yeah, you're right. It's always harder when they lose.
It is hard. It is hard to talk to them when they lose.
Yeah, and
difficult.
I mean, Samuel Vuo is hard to talk to in the first place.
Exactly.
Hell, I think it was easier to interview Piazza than has been to interview Samuel Vuo so far.
But don't even think about talking to Piazza after he loses.
No. That interaction yesterday was so good.
Really funny.
It's funny too because we were talking about it as he was walking up. You'll see on our interview later. It's a good time. We're making friends here.
We are.
We're making friends.
We've got a lot
here.
of really good interactions that you can only get when you're here.
Exactly. I was hoping that Herrera. It was either way. It was going to be a fun interview because either I was interviewing Piazza on one side or Herrera on the other.
Both would have been awesome. Both would have been awesome. It's only day 3 and we've already got some new friends, so to speak.
Yeah, let's see. I agree with this one down here. Samson bringing up some.
What if Canada wins the Olympics? Permanent maple leaf tattoo on my face. Honestly, I'm almost willing to take you up on that because that literally will not happen.
Watch it happen in like 2044 and call you up. How to do it? Pull up this clip. You said you would.
If Canada even qualifies for the Olympics, we can maybe make a bet on what they might do when they get there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, hey, we've qualified for the last two. I'm much more confident now. Much more confident now
than this time last year. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll talk about Canada tomorrow night because they have the day off once again. But we're looking forward to Italy versus the U.S. in about 3 hours, and then Argentina versus Brazil after that. Anything else, or can we get the people out of here?
Let's get the people out of here and let's go drink beers.
Love it. Thanks for watching, people. This is our quote-unquote pregame show, like in the middle of the day. We'll be back tonight after Argentina, Brazil. Enjoy the games. Join the Volleyball Source Discord. Links in the description. I think we might have the other Brazil-Canada scrimmage about to be ready to go on YouTube.
I'm just gonna do a thumbnail with Bruno at the front of it, and then we're good to go. It should be up in the next 5 minutes.
So if you want to fill your time between now and the U.S. game, you can have that to watch here on Volleyball Source in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so.
All right.
Love it.
Peace, guys. We'll see you later. Let's go get day drunk.